Welcome to the Music City. Departing the outskirts of Nashville, this train is 6.5 hours long.
We are going to ride the wine tasting excursion, so hop aboard as we explore.
We're going to drink some wine, enjoy a nice layover and more as we ride the Tennessee Central Railway Museum.
Here we go. Our wine journey starts now.
Our excursion begins early in the morning. Crews must prep the train and various equipment before the passengers arrive. Soon, the quiet rail yard comes alive with train car shunting. With the train assembled and prepped, it's time for passengers. Today, we'll be riding in the Dome Car.
Let's go.
One of the pluses for today's train is that because all the train cars are served wine, this train is 21 and over. So no screaming children, just a relaxing excursion for adults.
Do you want me inside?
No, we're good. We're good. I want you to see well.
All right, 69 and 68. Let's see, what did Mom get? So she got
map of our, I guess our stopover layover. It has all kinds of plate shops that are there. Like this winery. That must be the place you can buy the wine.
Soon after we found our seats, I was invited for an exclusive behind-the-scenes tour of the museum and the offices.
That was in the foyer of the freight house that was downtown here on the corner of Broadway and First Avenue. This picture here is Hermitage Avenue coming down, or what's considered First Avenue, and just behind it would be Broadway that tees in, and the river would be just to the left. And the passenger station was just to the left of the freight terminal.
I know you're eager to get back on the train, so we'll pick up the tour throughout the trip. On the way back to the train, we stopped at the museum's depot and took a quick look at the model train layout.
2 things of crackers.
Just get one.
One thing of cracker and 2 bottles of water?
Yeah. That's
Okay. Oh, I thought it was heavy.
He's pretty good at this stuff.
Oh, sorry. Oh, thank you.
He was smarter for breakfast. We stopped at the Speedway and I threw my ticket on the counter when she was not.
Crazy.
All right.
Yeah. The last one you were on a seat down there.
Let's see. Ooh.
We're limited on this end.
With all the essential items for a wine tasting, it's time for this train to get rolling.
Our wine journey starts now.
And our train is right here, what we call the platform or station track, right here. So the train will pull out.
Oh, there's an old diesel. Burlington Northern.
So just bear with me, I promise you're gonna get some wine. Feel tipsy, please, I beg you, because I feel tipsy already. I've had 10 shots for the day. I'm just kidding. I was stuck in traffic, so that was my shots for the day right there. I always like to introduce and just like get y'all to know me a little bit more. That way, if you ever want to ask me questions, please go right ahead. My name is Mason. I am a Tennessee Tech student. Most of us who are all on this train are all college students that go to Tennessee Tech, which if you don't know that is, that's in Cookville, Tennessee. That's where our home location is for Watertown.
You will head eastbound, going this way to Lebanon, Tennessee, and then on up to Watertown.
Thank you. Let me see your hand on it. Thank you. See your hand. There you go, honey.
You will pass this on your trip today. This is still an active trestle over the Cumberland River. It's now obviously CSX. This was the CSX line running this way, would be going toward Lebanon. The Tennessee Central passenger train is headed into downtown Nashville. And this is known as the Nashville Waterworks. Very historical buildings, especially the two to the left. And it's just a really, really neat structures that nobody gets to see except for on the train.
Yeah.
Because nobody has public access to this area.
So I don't have ski legs, I don't have train legs, I don't have any of that, okay guys? So your first priority is to not catch me, okay? I want you to catch the wine, the pride and joy of the day, okay guys? Forgive me, let me fall to the ground. It's okay, I'll be fine. Thank you. If I had extra, I'll bring the lots more of my okay guys. Thank you. There you go. Of course. All right. You want me to pour in theirs? Yeah. I can still hold right there. How are we doing, guys?
Very well.
Beautiful. So this is the first one on the list. This is the Asparachude Oro. This is a partnership with Tennessee Tech, which is the local college in Cookville. You're gonna get a really nice kind of a Cynthiana and a Kawaga grape blend to it. Very refreshing, very light. So this is the
All right,
first one
let's
on
try.
the list.
This is my
the
first time.
Asparachude Oro.
Other than communion, this is my first time drinking wine, but I don't have a palate to pick up the different notes. I mean, I guess I like wine, or my trip is about to get longer.
Yeah, so we're gonna start from the very top and work our way all
Oh, I'm
the
sorry.
way
I
around.
should be doing it like this, like that way you can see it. The foot.
So this is the first
see
one. So
that.
this is
No,
Asparachude.
we came here to taste wine. Let's give it another sip.
Straight from our vineyard. Very refreshing, very light, very similar to a Pinot Grigio. It's beautiful. It
tastes dry.
so different when it's chilled. It's not chilled on the train, but normally it's chilled.
I feel a warmth going down my throat.
Yeah. You don't want the rest, just give it to me.
Alright. I'm not as much of a wine person, so my mom likes wine more, but this is very good. So, yeah, here you go. We'll do this. How about that? There you go.
Thank you.
Wine's actually not that bad. And that was the first actual glass of wine I've ever had. So, we've all experienced a milestone. How about that? That's like the only way I will drink wine is if I have wine on a train. That's the only way I do it. And then also have a cracker.
Alright guys, the next one on our list is our Chardonnay. It's going to have a nice earthy wood tint to it, very refreshing, very kind of like a little bit on the lighter side than your typical Chardonnay. It still has a dipped side to it from being in a French oak barrel. We actually just got all new French barrels, which was a pretty penny, I'll tell you that much. But we did just get an all new one. And so right now we have a fresh Chardonnay actually sitting in one of our newest barrels. And we're very excited to see it in like the next 5 years.
Mason tells us a little bit about her experience working at Delmonico Winery and Vineyards.
Now, I started working for Delmonico when I was 18 years old, and then I just continued working for them until this past year when school just became too much. And honestly, I have to pay $6,000, so I needed a job that could make more money.
What's that called? The wine experts?
Sommeliers.
Maybe they make a lot of money.
They do make a lot of money, and you know you gotta pay like $1,000 to go to school for it.
Oh, really? Wow.
And you have to have your certification. That's why, sadly, we are not allowed to call ourselves sommeliers. Sommeliers? Sommeliers. Who said it? She said. Who said it? Sommeliers. How are we doing, guys? Good. Thank you. There you go, guys.
That seems like that was more than the other one. Now I can't say you've never had alcohol.
It's good, but
This reminds me of beer.
Eventually, we make it to Watertown for the layover. But before we get off the train, we have one final wine to taste.
I'm back. Alright guys, here we are with our last one. I hope you all had a wonderful time and I hope you enjoyed your day. This is our blackberry sweet. Now the jam and blackberry, as you see at the bottom. So that one we cannot try on the train. The sole reason is because it is 20% alcohol, 40% fruit.
Yes.
Sugarcane rum mixed with blackberry wine. So it is technically illegal for us to serve it on a moving vehicle. So we have to leave it back at the winery. It's also a little bit on the pricier side than our other bottles, just because of that rum. And we age it in a whiskey barrel.
Yes.
So you are free to try it at the winery for $5.
Sure will.
Or you can put it on top of a slushie for $2.
Sure will.
Doing all the above.
I hear lots of oohs and ahs over here.
She knows what we have. And I'm getting a bottle.
So this blackberry, sorry,
What do you mix this with?
this one I would mix with lemonade
Lemonade.
or vodka lemonade. Those are my favorite combinations with this one for sure. I've also done Prosecco with this one or champagne as like a little bit of like a topper.
There you go. One's good.
This is a picture of the L&N Hummingbird passenger train that went from, obviously came through into the Nashville area and then went down, I believe, into the panhandle of Florida. You will notice in this picture the Hummingbird here, because I always like to ask people, hey, what's the name of this train? And I tell them the name of the train is in the picture.
After the layover in Watertown, it was time for passengers to board the train for the return trip to Nashville. The scenic views from the train are not just forest or the woods, but they also open up to lush farmlands. To learn more about the route we are riding on, we talk with conductor Jason.
My name is Jason. I'm a conductor here at the museum. Also work on the Music City Star. It's a commuter train that runs between Nashville and Lebanon. I've been working here at the museum since I was 15 or 16. I started off as a brakeman and then kind of worked my way up from there. I've always liked trains, and when I found out there was a museum in my area, I was like, well, time to go figure that out.
A lot of my friends, especially that live around like museums, like they start volunteering and then like they start gaining that experience, and then now some are like started their own like restoration businesses, or some have actually gone to work and like on passenger rail. That's like a good like jumping point for a lot of people.
Yeah, and I think it's good experience because you're able to get a firsthand kind of feel for what it's really like, you know. So somebody could say, well, I want to work for the railroad, but they wouldn't really know until they actually did it or did something like it. So the museum kind of further convinced me that, hey, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. So from there I went and started at a little railroad in Murfreesboro at a Pillsbury plant, just switching copper cars back and forth all day, and then went to the commuter train from there.
This is the maintenance facility for R.J. Corman and the WeGo Star commuter train. Whenever a locomotive or a passenger car needs repairing, it comes here. WeGo Public Transit also stores their train sets here when they are not needed.
I think especially once you realize how the engines and machines work, and then just like seeing like I guess the guests and how they interact with everyone on board, I feel like that's what makes it special in a way, you know, like.
Yeah, and it's great to be able to come out here and give, you know, these people an enjoyable ride. Everybody got their wine tastings and everything, and these are almost always guaranteed to be quiet trips on the way
Yeah.
back because everybody's.
I've been on train trips elsewhere before where the conductor like goes like, so you're gonna be, after you eat, you're gonna come right back to your seat, and then you're gonna fall asleep, and you're gonna wake up, and we're gonna be pulling back into town, and pretty much that's. And I assume a lot of them do that here. I mean,
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I guess it's like the way that the train just moves, kind of lulls you to sleep. So.
Well, and the repetitive sounds and everything.
Yeah.
If you've ever ridden a subway before, you know it's kind of hard to stay awake, especially if you're really tired, just because of the motion back and forth. Once you get past Lebanon, it turns into really nice farmland for the most part. You know, some rural housing and all that kind of stuff.
Like a nice, like just I guess a day out from work, and you know, just fellowship and you know, just ride the train. You know.
For me, you know, I've had people ask me like, well, you work on the train all week, you know, why would you want to go and work on another one on the weekend for free? You know, you don't get paid for that. And I was like, well, I've always liked doing it, and I started here.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of at where I've always wanted to be. You know, I really enjoy doing this. It's just my hobby. Everybody has a hobby, so.
There's so many individuals out there that don't do it for the money. They just do it for the love and like just the volunteering. Because and I know like a lot of tourist operations, they would not be around like without volunteers.
Oh yeah.
And
well, and this is the same way here. It's all volunteer here at the museum. We wouldn't, you know, we couldn't make it without people like that.
Well, eventually Jason had to resume his job as conductor, but that left us to check out a particularly interesting car on the train. The train gift shop, of course. They have t-shirts to kids' coloring books and more. With a rowdy bunch behind us, we sit and relax for the last few miles back to Nashville. One thing I did not bring up was the matching steel coaches. There are very few railroads in America that have complete matching train sets. The museum did not even include all of their steel coaches on the train. There's a couple thanks I need to send out. I need to thank Mason for serving the wine. Trust me, the wine was flowing. We tried 13 wines and tasted all of them before disembarking the layover. Well, I'll be honest, I didn't try all 13 wines, but this trip was a starting point for me on my wine tasting journey. She inspired me to start drinking wine and to learn more about its many complexities and subtleties. I want to thank you, the viewers, for not just joining us on this trip, but for joining us on the whole series. But most importantly, I want to thank my mother. If it was not for her support, for her encouragement, we would not be here in Nashville. This is not the end of the series. There are so many railroads we have not explored yet, but for now, this is the end of our time at the Tennessee Central Railway Museum and Season 2.
well, I hope you enjoyed this installment of Jacob's Rail Expedition at the Tennessee Central Railway Museum. So until next time, see you down the line. There's a good amount of people that fell asleep downstairs.
Oh, really?